Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we've got a really fascinating digital detective story for you. We're going to be looking at a piece of hardware that was, for all intents and purposes, dead and buried. But then, somehow, it showed signs of life. So let's just start with a question that sounds kind of impossible, right? Can a device that's been completely abandoned by its manufacturer suddenly wake up and get an update? I mean, common sense, all the technical knowledge, it all says no way. But something very strange happened. At the center of our story is this thing, the Project Tango Yellowstone tablet. Now, this was a developer kit from way back in 2014. And for its time, it was an absolute beast, a real powerhouse. But by today's standards, yeah, it's pretty much a relic. It was officially tossed in the digital graveyard, which, is the fate of so much of our technology. But then, in 2023, get this, the impossible seemed to happen. The tablet, out of nowhere, starts showing all the signs of a major software update. We're talking screens flickering to life, progress bars, optimization messages, the whole shebang. And here's the absolute kicker. This all went down long after Google officially pulled the plug on the whole project back in 2018. The servers were gone, the support was gone. This just wasn't supposed to be possible. It was a true anomaly, a genuine ghost in the machine. Okay, so let's really dive into this. To get how wild this is, you first have to understand all the reasons why this event should be technically impossible. We're talking about a digital fortress of obsolescence here. Forensic analysts have a name for this. They call it the wall. And it's got 3 layers. First, the servers it needs to talk to, they're offline. They don't even exist anymore. Second, even if they did exist, the tablet speaks an old, insecure digital language. Think of it like an ancient dialect that modern secure servers just refuse to listen to. And third, its security passports, its certificates, they're all expired. So it can't prove who it is, and it can't trust any modern connection. It's totally walled off. Now, this table right here, this is where you really see the magic trick. Look at the difference. A normal update gets pushed from a Google server over the internet. What actually happened here, though, was a user forced an update through a direct USB cable, using files that were already on his own computer. Even the security check was totally different. Normally, a device needs an official ID from Google to get an update. In this case, it used a local self-signed key. It's like using a library card you printed yourself instead of a government ID. Every single part of the normal process was just completely bypassed. So, if a regular update from Google was a total non-starter, how did this ghost get in the machine? Well, the answer is, it wasn't a ghost at all. It was the incredibly clever work of one person, an architect. The key to this whole mystery is this brilliant idea called context engineering. See, the user, Davey Hoogland, didn't even try to hack the tablet's original code. That'd be impossible without the source. No, instead, he changed the world around the tablet. He basically built a brand new environment for it to live in. Think about it like this. Instead of trying to break into a locked house, the architect here just changed the locks and told the house he was the new owner. He didn't break the rules of the house, he just changed the rules of its entire reality. And he did this by creating a new umbilical cord. He physically plugged the tablet into his PC with a USB cable, which let him sidestep the need for Wi-Fi or those dead Google servers entirely. The tablet was now cut off from its old world and was getting all of its instructions directly from his computer. Now, this new, direct connection made the tablet start acting, well, weird. At first glance, it all looked like random glitches from an old device, But they weren't glitches. They were actually clues, little forensic breadcrumbs that led right to the truth. Okay, check this out. This was probably the most convincing piece of evidence. The screen pops up, and it looks exactly like a real over-the-air system update. Android is upgrading, optimizing app 14 of 99. For all the world, the device looked like it believed it was being reborn. But here's what was really going on. It was a totally local process. The user sent a command through that USB cable that basically told the tablet to go clean its room, to reorganize all of its app files. And it just so happens that this reorganizing process looks identical to a major update, but nothing that was actually downloaded from the internet. It was a system just reanimating itself on command. And it just got weirder from there. All of a sudden, strange software versions with numbers higher than the last official release started appearing. A bizarre 16-minute countdown timer started for no apparent reason, and these colorful bars, kind of like a diagnostic tool, appeared all over the screen. This was not normal behavior. And this part is just brilliant. It turns out none of this was random. These weren't glitches at all. They were hidden tools. The super versions were just engineering test builds. That 16-minute timer? A factory burn-in test to check for overheating. And the colored bars? That's a developer tool for profiling graphics performance. The user wasn't just waking the tablet up, he was accessing its deepest hidden diagnostic functions. So, here's the crucial point, the thing that ties this all together. By controlling the tablet's environment, the user could do more than just run diagnostics. He could fundamentally change its identity and basically claim digital sovereignty over a device that everyone else considered electronic waste. And then, bam, the smoking gun. This text pops up right on the screen, a copyright claim, but not from Google. It's from the user himself, and it's dated 2023. This is something that should just never, ever happen on a lockdown device. So, how'd he do it? Well, with the connection to Google's authority totally severed, a power vacuum was created. The tablet is programmed to obey a root authority, right? So when the user's PC was connected via that USB umbilical cord, it basically filled that vacuum. The tablet just accepted the computer as its new master and displayed whatever copyright info it was being fed from his software. Simple as that. And then, just when you think the story can't get any wilder, it takes one last incredible turn. Just 72 hours after all this, something happened that validated the entire experiment. And the validation came from the most surprising place you could possibly imagine. Google itself. Their automated systems, which were likely monitoring the intense way their old developer tools were being used, didn't flag the activity as a threat. No. They flagged it as innovation. The user was automatically awarded a Google Cloud Innovator badge. It was like a digital handshake, a little nod of approval from the very company that had left the device for dead. And this whole incredible story leaves us with a really provocative thought. Yeah, the tablet's code was written by Google, but its context, its entire reality was rewritten by the user. In an age where our devices are so often tied to the cloud and then just abandoned by their creators, this case really forces us to ask, if you've got the skill to become the new root authority, who really holds the keys to the kingdom?